Good evening and welcome to Arizona Horizon. I'm Ted Simons. President Trump last week issued an executive order that calls for a $100,000 fee for visas granted to skilled foreign workers. In doing so, the White House claimed that employers are using the H-1B visa program to replace American workers with cheaper foreign employees. Joining us now to discuss the impact of the order is immigration attorney Elizabeth Chatham. Elizabeth, good to see you again. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So this adds a $100,000 fee for skilled foreign worker visas. What's a skilled foreign worker as opposed to a non-skilled foreign worker?
Well, the H-1B visa is meant for people with bachelor's degrees or higher. So it would be jobs that typically entry level would require some sort of specialized theoretical knowledge. And so you see a lot of foreign graduates that go to our American universities, and then they transition from a student visa usually to an H-1B visa.
Interesting. Okay, so this $100,000 fee, who pays it?
I know, it's a big amount of money. It's unclear. Most attorneys do think that it's going to be an expectation that an employer pays, but it's possible that there might be a mechanism for the employee to pay. But the $100,000 fee is very narrow in scope. The fee is only going to be triggered if someone is physically outside of the United States, that H-1B was submitted after November 21st of 2025. And that person does not have a valid H-1B visa or approval notice. So it's really meant for people who are outside of the United States.
Which means, I would imagine, a lot of employers are telling their employees, get back to the U.S. as soon as possible.
Yes, there was quite a bit of confusion this weekend on what to do with people who are already abroad. So the White House did clarify, along with Customs and Border and the State Department, that this particular proclamation is prospective. So if anybody had previously had an approved H-1B, they are not impacted. They're not going to trigger the $100,000 fee.
Interesting. Is it a one-time fee?
Correct. It's one time. It's not going to be every year as previously reported, and it would be required and documented in order for that person to re-enter the United States.
Okay, so the focus here is, again, hard to find, high-skilled jobs. The White House says that the program, though, is deliberately exploiting all of this. They call it the most abused visa program. Do they have a point?
I do. I do think that there is abuse of the H-1B program. It's nothing new. It's been going on for quite some time. The reason I think there's an abuse of the program is because the number of available visas are very limited. They're limited to a total of 85,000. And there's a greater demand. Usually there's 300, 400, 500,000 applicants competing for those 85,000. So there is going to be ways that people are trying to game the system. So the complaint that the administration has is that because there's only 85,000, there's a large number that's being absorbed by very few companies. Many of the companies that they're talking about are in the IT sector. And sometimes the IT sector has staffing companies, so large staffing companies that will find labor from abroad, and then they'll bring those people over to the US. But they're not just applying for 5, 10, 25 visas. They're applying for hundreds or even maybe thousands of visas. And so the abuse is that they might get a small percentage of those applications in the lottery, but then are they being assigned to US employers? Are they doing those tasks that were stated in the application? Are they here for the right amount of time? Are they overstaying? So there's a preference that this administration has that says, well, American businesses should try to fill those open spots with American workers, especially if they're entry-level roles.
Are they not filling those spots with American workers because you can get, as the White House claims, cheaper workers overseas, and they are basically replacing American employees.
That is not supposed to happen under this program because you have a prevailing wage requirement from the Department of Labor, and they're supposed to pay those wages. If they're paying less than that, then there is a disconnect, and they're probably not in compliance.
So when the White House says that basically this will cost so much, these companies will have to pay so much, it'll be cheaper, more affordable, just go ahead and train American workers. Again, do they have a point?
That's what they're trying to ensure. But because of the way that this particular proclamation is written, it's very broad. So it's going to affect small employers, maybe even public schools or charter schools that can't afford to pay a $100,000 fee. So now there's going to be exemptions for certain employers to qualify in order not to pay that $100,000 fee.
Wow. The H-1B program, again, the claims are that this program suppresses wages. What do you think?
You know, that's a tough one because, you know, I can see that there's this delicate dance that employers have to kind of examine. So they want to pay proper wages that the Department of Labor says is appropriate. But at the same time, there's business-related factors that also kind of affect what an employer can pay. So we always tell employers up front, before we even file a case, these are the wages, can you pay them? And if you can't, then don't sponsor.
Interesting. So again, I'm trying to get all these claims in order. There's so many claims here as far as the executive order was concerned. Another claim was that basically the H-1B program was designed to fill shortages. It is not doing that anymore.
I agree with that. It's the H-1B program's been around since, you know, the early 80s, and it has not been revamped. So what our economy needed in the 80s is very, very different than what our economy and businesses need now. We need a much more long-term, bigger, broader, totally different visa that allows for employers to utilize skilled labor or increase the number from 85,000 to something that's more appropriate.
Well, that all sounds like it takes, you know, time, it takes policy and thinking this, whereas a $100,000 fee just seems a little bit like an elephant gun here.
Yes, yes. So what I think the program needs is a change. It's congressional action that is really necessary to revamp the program. The $100,000 fee is really serving as a deterrent.
Yeah.
It's trying to make sure that there is not, the first strategy should not be let's go find foreign labor. The first strategy that the Trump administration is encouraging is to find local US-based talent.
And all this said, I would imagine a legal challenge is coming. If it hasn't come already,
Yes.
it's happening soon. You think a temporary restraining order will happen?
There's a number of lawsuits that are being planned to file this week. I think that there might be a really good success story because in these claims, these are broad, arbitrary, and capricious sort of applications. And if there is really a concern of IT companies abusing the program, then those companies should be the ones that are paying this $100,000 fee.
Last question. It has been noted that most of the immigrants with the H-1B program are from the country of India. And the president right now is having his problems with the country of India. Mm-hmm. Is that a factor here at all?
I think that there's some complications with, you know, foreign talent, especially from certain countries that are, you know, predominantly in sectors. And you know, I think that there is perhaps a preference to figure out a way that this could be more evenly distributed, where the H-1B and other visa programs are available to everyone, and they are legally. Anyone from any country, as long as they qualify,
Right.
is available for the H-1B. But there is definitely a larger percentage of Chinese and Indian nationals that use the H-1B program.
Interesting stuff. Elizabeth Chatham, again, a partner with Sinton LLP, and helping us with yet another immigration story. My goodness, good to see you.
Good to see you too. Thank you.